The leaders of France and Germany, François Hollande and Angela Merkel, mark a historic moment at the European Parliament 26 years after the fall of the Berlin Wall and discuss the future of Europe with the MEPs. Hello and welcome to our roundup of the European Parliament's latest plenary session here in Strasbourg. Among the issues topping the agenda, the migration crisis and the VW auto emissions scandal. We begin with the milestone marking that dramatic event that happened right here in Parliament. It's 1989, just days after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Chancellor Helmut Kohl and French President François Mitterrand addressed the European Parliament on a new, exciting and uncertain path for Europe. Their successors in power today returned to look toward the daunting task ahead, facing such issues as migration, job creation, and making Europe more competitive through a single market. Before delivering her speech to the plenary, Chancellor Merkel attended an EPP group meeting to lend her support to the group's efforts in Parliament. In her address to the plenary, she noted how Europe's strength in diversity grew by taking in former East Bloc countries, something to remember in facing today's challenges, she said.
Weil wir Europäer in unserer Geschichte gelernt haben, aus unserer Vielfalt das meiste zu machen. Sie zeigt uns, wozu wir Europäer in der Lage sind, wenn wir nur wollen. Wenn wir Mut beweisen und wenn wir zusammenhalten. Und sie zeigt auch, dass es überhaupt keinen Grund gibt, sich von Rückschlägen, die es ganz selbstverständlich immer wieder gibt, entmutigen zu lassen. In einem Wort, sie zeigt uns, was möglich ist.
The Chancellor said that facing the immigrant crisis and other issues today inside and outside the EU will reshape Europe's future.
Und all dies wird Europa wieder verändern. Genauso wie sich Europa nach den Umbrüchen in Mittel- und Osteuropa vor 25 Jahren tiefgreifend verändert hat. Natürlich werden wir uns weiter mit der Verbesserung unserer Wettbewerbsfähigkeit beschäftigen. Natürlich werden wir uns mit der Digitalisierung unserer Gesellschaften beschäftigen, mit einer nachhaltigen Entwicklung, mit einer gemeinsamen Energiepolitik, mit Freihandelsabkommen mit anderen Ländern auf der Maßgabe unserer Prinzipien. Gerade jetzt wird ja ein wirtschaftlich starkes Europa, das die Chancen des Binnenmarkts nutzt, mehr denn je gebraucht. Und dazu müssen wir auch die wirtschaftspolitische Koordinierung in der Eurozone verbessern. Und Deutschland und Frankreich werden ihren Beitrag dazu leisten.
The French president also noted the need for a common EU approach in difficult times.
À chaque crise, des peurs se manifestent. Il faut vivre avec la peur, mais il ne faut pas vivre dominé par la peur. Il n'empêche, il y a une tentation de repli national chaque fois qu'il y a une épreuve. Rien n'est pourtant plus vain que de chercher à se sauver seul.
EPP Group Chairman Manfred Weber credited President Hollande for offering solutions on strengthening Europe's borders, and he attacked populists in Europe as fearmongers seeking to dismantle the EU.
Dass es politische Kräfte auf dem Kontinent gibt, die den Menschen Angst machen, die etwas zerstören wollen, die etwas kaputt machen wollen. Nämlich das, was über Jahrzehnte hinweg frühere Generationen von gewählten Politikern aufgebaut haben. Das sind Kräfte, die Probleme beschreiben, aber keine Idee haben, wie man Probleme löst.
Weber added that the EU must show decisive leadership or be left behind by global developments.
Warum ist es dringlich? Warum muss es demnächst passieren? Weil die Welt nicht auf uns wartet. Während wir uns mit Griechenland beschäftigen, haben wir an den chinesischen Börsen einen großen Einbruch erlebt. Während wir über Migration reden, wird in Atlanta ein transpazifisches Freihandelsabkommen abgeschlossen, wo 40% des Welthandels neu organisiert werden. Die Welt wartet nicht auf unsere internen Debatten. Deswegen muss Europa engagiert vorangehen.
Next, the European Parliament again tackled the issue of migration, debating what new measures to take. There were calls for more action on the humanitarian front, as well as on border security. It is a crisis that shows little sign of abating. The war in Syria has entered a new phase with international airstrikes against extremist militias, raising the stakes in a conflict that has driven millions fleeing for their lives. EU Council President Donald Tusk called for solidarity in aiding the refugees. He also urged more decisive action to strengthen the EU's external borders in order to defend free movement inside the EU under the Schengen Treaty's open internal borders.
The first commandment today is the restoration of control on the EU's external borders as a condition sine qua non of an effective humanitarian and safe migratory policy. We have to finally say it loud and clear. Europe without its external borders equals Europe without Schengen. Europe without its external borders will become a breeding ground for fear in each and every one of us. And this will lead us, sooner than later, to a political catastrophe.
The EPP Group backs the latest EU summit decision to provide another €1 billion in funding to care for refugees in Middle East countries, to better secure external borders, and to establish hotspots to reach a common solution on the refugee crisis. But the EPP Group is calling for further action, says Chairman Manfred Weber.
Well, we have to underline that Europe is already doing a lot. We are rescuing people, thousands of people in the Mediterranean Sea. We are doing an operation there to fight against the smugglers. And we have more money now to help in the camps in Turkey, in Jordan and in Lebanon. So we are doing already a lot.
Weber says the EU also needs to effectively apply other measures it's already agreed on.
For us, Europe has to do two main things. One is to be a safe harbor for those who need really our help. We have to be open for refugees. We cannot block the whole European Union. We have to be proud to have the right of asylum inside of the European Union. And on the other hand, to protect borders, because we have misuse of these principles as well. That is a reality. That's why EPP is asking for the balance.
Finally, the scandal that has shaken the auto industry. Fallout over Volkswagen cheating on emissions tests for millions of its cars. Europe's biggest automaker is reeling, and EU lawmakers are demanding action. The EPP Group has expressed regret that Europe failed to uncover the scandal on its own, a scandal that poses health risks, even fatal. The EPP Group's Françoise Grossetête is a member of the Parliament's Environment, Public Health and Food Safety Committee. She called the scandal shameful, but also sought to defend the industry pending test results and consideration of proposals from the European Commission.
Ce serait une erreur aujourd'hui de condamner le diesel et l'industrie automobile qui utilise le diesel. Alors bien sûr, Madame le Commissaire, vous nous avez fait un certain nombre de propositions. Nous attendons bien sûr que les tests d'homologation soient faits le plus rapidement possible dans le cadre de situations de conduite réelles.
Christianis Karins, EPP Group spokesman in the Industry Committee, is calling on the auto industry to repair its reputation as quickly as possible. The loss of that upstanding image, he says, could have serious repercussions for European industry as a whole. Parliament is to vote on a resolution on the issue in the coming week. That's it for now from this Strasbourg session. See you next week in Brussels. And find out more about the activities of the largest political force in Parliament by checking eppgroup.eu. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.